The Apple TV 4K is a premium streaming box, and when you set it up the right way, it absolutely earns its price tag. The secret that most people miss isn't hidden in an app or a setting, it's the HDMI port you choose on your TV. Pick the wrong port, and you can choke your picture quality, lose Dolby Atmos, and end up with lifeless audio. Pick the right one, and you unlock crystal clear 4K HDR immersive sound and seamless control across Apple's smart ecosystem. Always plug your Apple TV 4K into the TV's HDMI ARC or, ideally, HDMI eARC port. This single choice determines whether you can pass high-quality audio to HomePods, soundbars, or AV receivers, and whether everything just works when you hit play. ARC Audio Return Channel arrived with HDMI 1.4 and lets audio travel both ways over a single cable, simplifying setups that used to require multiple connections. eARC, Enhanced Audio Return Channel, introduced with HDMI 2.1. Dramatically increases bandwidth so your TV can carry uncompressed multi-channel audio and Dolby Atmos without downmixing or dropouts. In short, ARC is good. eARC is best. If you own one or more HomePods, this matters even more. When your Apple TV 4K is connected to the TV's ARC, eARC port, and your HomePods are set as the default speakers, you get a near cinema quality soundstage in your living room. A stereo pair of full-size HomePods can deliver spacious room-filling audio with convincing height effects in supported content. With multiple HomePods in your home, AirPlay and HomeKit keep everything in sync so TV audio, music, and announcements sound cohesive throughout your space. Without HomePods or an external audio system, your TV's built-in speakers will play the sound, but they rarely offer the depth, dynamics, or clarity that modern content deserves. Setting it up takes just a few minutes and pays off. Every time you watch, connect your Apple TV 4K directly to the TV's HDMI port, labeled ARC or eARC. If your TV has both, choose eARC. Use a certified ultra-high-speed HDMI cable HDMI 2.1. Even if Apple TV 4K tops out at 4K 6.0, the added bandwidth improves reliability for Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, and eARC stability. Look for the official ultra-high-speed label with a QR code on your TV. Enable eARC or ARC in sound settings, often called auto, on. Set digital audio out to pass through or auto, and turn on HDMI CEC so your Siri remote can control TV power and volume. CEC may be branded AnyNet Plus, Samsung, Simplink, LG Bravia, Sync, Sony, etc. on your Apple TV 4K. Go to Settings greater than Video and Audio greater than Default Audio Output and select your HomePod or HomePod stereo pair. Then enable Dolby Atmos in audio format if available. To route all TV audio, including from consoles and cable boxes through home. Go to Settings greater than Video and Audio greater than Audio Return Channel and choose Play Television Audio. This uses RAC-eARC via the Apple TV to make your HomePods your TV speakers for the best picture. Set Apple TV to 4K SDR and turn on Match Dynamic Range and Match Frame Rate. This preserves filmmaker intent by switching to HDR 1.0, Dolby Vision, and proper frame cadence only when content requires it. If colors look off, run color balance using an iPhone. If you notice lip sync issues, run wireless audio sync on Apple TV settings, video, and audio, and let your iPhone calibrate latency for your exact room and speakers. Understanding the ARC-eARC difference explains why this setup is so impactful. ARC can handle stereo PCM and compressed 5.1 formats like Dolby Digital and Dolby Digital plus eARC has the headroom for uncompressed multi-channel PCM and Dolby Atmos carried in Dolby Matte or trued exactly what high-fidelity movie soundtracks and next-gen streaming use. Apple TV 4K sends Atmos using Dolby Matte, which benefits from eARC's robust bandwidth and clocking. If your soundbar or AVR supports eARC, connect the Apple TV to the TV's eARC port and let eARC carry the full fidelity audio downstream. If your VR has multiple HDMI 2.1 inputs and eARC out, you can also plug Apple TV directly into the AVR and pass video to the TV from there. Cable quality matters. A standard high-speed HDMI cable can often manage 4K streaming, but for Dolby Vision, ATMOS, and eARC reliability, a certified ultra-high-speed HDMI cable is the smart buy. It's engineered for 48 Gbps bandwidth and lower interference. It's important for longer runs and noisy environments. If you also game on a PS5 or Xbox Series X and want 4K 120 VRO or ALLM, those features require HDMI 2.1 bandwidth on both the TV's input and the cable. While Apple TV 4K focuses on 4K 60 playback, an ultra-high-speed cable gives you headroom and future-proofing across your system. Choosing the right TV port is just as critical as choosing the right cable. Most modern sets reserve eARC for a specific input, often HDMI 2 or HDMI 3. Some TVs also limit 4K 1202, a subset of HDMI inputs. If you balance an Apple TV, a next-gen console, and a soundbar, a VR, plan your connections so the Apple TV sits on the eARC port while gaming devices get the 4K 120 ports. If you run out of high bandwidth inputs, consider an AVR with multiple HDMI 2.1 inputs or a reputable HDMI 2.1 switch. If you don't use HomePod, you still benefit from the eARC ARC connection. When pairing the TV with a soundbar or a VR, you'll get better codec support, lower latency, and volume power sync via CEC. If you rely solely on TV speakers, use the eARC ARC port. Anyway, many TVs prioritize processing and lip sync on those inputs, giving you the best shot at consistent audio. Modern TVs are far more than displays. They're connectivity hubs. Beyond HDMI, your USB ports, Ethernet jack, and Wi-Fi chip all influence streaming quality and accessory performance. Most TVs ship with USB 2.0 ports up to 480 Mbps, typically 5 volts, 0.5A. Some premium models include USB 3.x ports up to 5 gigabits per second and 5 volts, 0.9A or higher, which handle faster external drives and more power-hungry accessories more gracefully. Not all USB ports are equal, even on the same TV. Check your manual for which ports deliver higher current or faster speeds. A quality USB cable reduces dropouts, power sag, and device disconnects, especially with portable drives or LED bias lighting. If you're powering a streaming stick from USB, prefer a higher current port or, better yet, plug it into an AC adapter. Apple TV 4K uses its own power supply, so USB considerations mostly apply to accessories and storage connected to the TV. For networking, a wired Ethernet connection offers the most stable 4K HDR, streaming especially in congested apartments or when you share Wi-Fi. If you use Wi-Fi, connect Apple TV to a 5 GHz or Wi-Fi 6.6E network, and keep the box in line of sight of your router for maximum throughput and lowest latency. In Apple TV settings, you can check network strength and run diagnostics if buffering appears. A few pro tips elevate the experience further. On your TV, set audio output to bitstream or pass-through to avoid downmixing. Avoid forcing PCM unless required by your sound system. If you use Blu-ray players or consoles with HomePods via eARC, set those devices to Dolby bitstream output. DTS isn't supported by Apple TV or HomePod. Enable CEC so your Siri remote controls volume seamlessly. If your soundbar volume doesn't respond, retrain the remote under settings greater than remotes and devices. If you notice washed out colors, set Apple TV Chroma to 42220 for HDR content, or keep 4 hours for minutes and 4 seconds for SDR on displays that handle it cleanly. Keep TVOs and your TV firmware updated. EARC reliability and Dolby Vision compatibility often improve with firmware updates.